Hello everyone, I'm Ajnas Ahmed and I will be presenting my final project in this video. So let's get started. This project is based on a simple but efficient Python code which enables the system, which is the computer, to read out any PDF file of our choice just like an audiobook. Before I go into the code, let me show you what we are going to do in this video and what will be the outcome of the code. So before I go into details of the code, let me show you what the outcome of the code will be. So we have the code in the left side of the screen which we will be creating today, and let me show you what happens when I run the code. So I have run the code and let's see what happens.
31 Chapter 2. Biology and Psychology. In the LM Concussion, Will Smith plays the Nigerian Dr. Bennett Omalu, who performed an autopsy on former Pittsburgh Steelers center, Mike.
So as you can see, when I ran the code, the system started to read out the PDF file for me. So this is what we will be creating today, a simple Python code which will convert any PDF file into an audiobook like thing. So now that you know what we are working towards to, let's dig deep into the code. So in order to write the code, I had to import two modules. The first one was pyttsx3, which is a module that helps us to convert text to speech, and this is available offline and is compatible with both Python 2 and 3. The next one is pypdf2, which is a Python library used for performing major tasks related to PDF files, such as extracting information or merging and splitting PDF files or encrypting, etc. So let's break down the code into steps. I have provided the full code in the right hand side and broken down the code into steps in the left hand side. So let's start from the first step, which is to install and import the needed modules. So to install them, we have to write these statements in the terminal part, which is pip install the module name. So once it gets installed, we have to import these modules in the code. We can see that the line 1 and 2 in the code, we imported the two modules in the code, and the second step is to open the PDF file and retrieve the text in it, which is done in lines 3 and 4. You can see that here I opened the PDF file for psychotext. This is the file name and this is the mode. RB is a mode that makes sure that the file is read in binary form. For example, like we use R and W mode while opening files in Python, right? Just like that, we use RB mode here to open the file in binary mode, right? Moving on to step 3, we get the numbers of the page in the PDF file, and to do that we use this line number 5, where pages equal to PDF reader dot num pages, right? Moving on to step 4, here we initialize the module which is used to convert the text to speech. So we can see in line number 7, we used speaker as an object and we initialized the module, and to initialize it we used init function, right? After that we move into step 5, where we use a for loop if we need to read a range of pages, or we just use get function, as you can see here. So if you just want to read a particular page, you can cancel out the for loop here and just move on with line number 9, right? And moving on to our last step, we extract the text in the PDF file and we use the text object for that, and in the line number 11 we ask the speaker to say the text, right? And the last line would be speaker.runAndWait function. Now the run and wait function is a function that makes the speech audible in the system. So if we don't use this function, it won't be audible in the system. So we have done the breaking down of the code into steps, and I hope you understood each step clearly. And let's move on to demonstrating the code. So let's see what happens when we run the code finally. Okay, so now that we know how the code works and the steps we followed in order to complete the full code, let's put our code into action. So let's run the code and see what happens.
31 Chapter 2. Biology and Psychology. In the LM concussion, Will Smith plays the Nigerian Dr. Bennett Omalu, who performed an autopsy on former.
So as you saw, when I ran the code, the system automatically started to read out the PDF file for me, just like an audiobook. So now if I want to read my psychology textbook, I just have to lay down and run this Python code. I don't have to strain my eyes again and again. So this is a very helpful code. So now that you have seen what it actually does, we have come to an end of this video, and I hope you have gained something useful from this, and thank you so much for your time and listening to me.